Hi guys, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Yeah, what did Tiffany order now? I don't know. We're gonna have to see what she ordered. Had to come in a truck. That's all I know. All I gotta do now is take it in the house and unpallet it. Let's get to some unboxing. In today's video, I and Scott and I are going to unbox the Juki DU1181N walking foot industrial sewing machine. I had won a prize for a quilt, second place prize, and I decided to trade it in for other items because I already had a long arm machine. So I traded my prize in, and this was, you know, a month ago already, or more, a little bit more than a month ago. And the prizes I chose was a little Juki that I've been sewing on. Refer to this video up here for unboxing that one, because for the life of me, I don't know what it is at this very moment. Anyways, so the second machine that I traded for, because I traded for more than one, is the Juki DU1181N. So that way I can make bags, because I like to make bags, but I wanted more than using my TL2010Q, which is in the shop and has no estimated time on being fixed at the moment because I blew the motor. Yes, in 6 years, I blew the motor on my Juki TL2010Q. So actually a little bit more than 6 years, but you get the drift. So just know that if you use it and 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 use it some more, you can blow a motor. Who knew? Anyway, so I traded my machine in that I won, and I got the one Juki I already said that I linked above or in the description. You can watch that video, whatever, anywhere, somewhere. Anyway, and then the other machine is a Juki DU1181N. Now in this video, Scott and I are not really showing you how to put it together because we were actually watching a video to put it together while we were putting it together. And then we had problems putting it together because most of the videos that are online aren't very clear. And I would have made a clearer video, but we ran into problems during this putting it together phase with the hand wheel. So 3 people didn't think that this person here, could make this hand wheel thing work, but I'm telling you right now, I made it work. So it is now fully assembled, which you're going to see in the video coming very shortly. I'm just going to speed it up and tell you what I'm doing as we're doing it. So hopefully you enjoy. It's not really like the best unboxing video you could ever watch, but it is a heavy machine and it was hard to unbox and so on and so forth. So it was hard to put together and all that. And you'll see. Just watch. I'll see you at the end. All right. It's time to open this box. So as we get it open, this top box, it actually had no directions in it. So guess what? We had no directions, and we had to look them up by watching YouTube videos. Go figure. Scott tried to pull the machine out. It's very oily. and heavy. So just beware that there is oil, you know, making it nice and slippery slick. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. Inside that box, we pulled out the parts and pieces that we needed. So as we're going, and yeah, we're trying to see if there was anything direction wise, and there wasn't. We took the whole box apart and there was still no direction. So here we are now looking up a video how to put this darn thing together, because, well, you got to know how it goes together. So we're going to start with the thread stand. It actually wasn't that hard. I mean, we probably could have done it without directions, maybe, but at this time, you know, I've never had one of these before, and I definitely would rather have it put together properly with directions. You also need to make sure you get all the tools you need to put these together, because it needed more tools than what came with the machine in the box. So here we are trying to figure out how this goes by starting and stopping the video and pausing it. Every single video we've looked up on this, none of them show super up close and personal. They more or less describe how to put it together with the video set up, probably about as far as you're seeing my video set up right now. So we're putting it together the way it says to in the video and figuring it out. And here I am, obviously doing a lot of the work as well, because, you know, I can't not be involved in putting my own industrial machine together. So here we are figuring that out and putting it together, making sure it's the correct way. So we are attaching this thread stand, and then we have to put the top half on it so that the thread has the guide at the top coming off of it. So again, we're watching the video at the same exact time on the computer that's right in front, so that we can see while you watch us put it together. So it doesn't give like an exact height or whatever. We're just going by what they did in the video that we watched. So we're putting it together, getting it set up, making sure everything's correct. Now for the next step. It says to put these, get this ready with the oil pan and some little like rubber things that we had to attach. Now these rubber things, all four of them that need to be attached, are very hard to attach. Here you can see Scott's looking for nails. He dropped the nails and I found them, poof, just like that. He must be blind. Haha, LOL. Anyways, so we find the nails, we pick them up, and you really need a pin hammer, because the one that we have, even though it's small and I use it for bag making, the one that we were using, it was really hard to get these nails into the rubber pieces that hold the oil pan in place. Like, yeah, it kept hitting the rubber and it was like hard to angle them in there without bending the nail. But I managed to figure it out by using the needle nose pliers and the hammer to push it down in. Here you can see Scott, he's checking the video. He's like fast forwarding and rewinding to make sure that we're doing it correctly. Here we are trying to get that second one in there, and I again use the needle nose pliers to hammer the nails down in there. And then they have these two black rubber pieces that are supposed to go on the back side, but they were impossible to stay on there, so we just went without them. And it says in the video that they're 100% not needed, so we just left those out of there. And we just kept on working. So here we are putting the nails in to hold the mount part to tip the machine back. Now that was even harder than getting the tray holders in, because those ones we had to use a screwdriver and then tap the nail in with the screwdriver and hammer. That was hard because the little nails that hold that in are so small. So we bent a few nails in the process, but you have 2 extra nails if you don't use the little black pieces that go on the back side. So we managed to get that in there and it worked. So now we are cleaning up some of that, realizing we don't need it. Let's put the oil pan in, and it sits like it's supposed to, just like the guy shows in the video that we're watching.
I was trying to put those black pieces on just to see, but they definitely do not fit like they're supposed to. They're cut a little big, honestly. So we skip that part and we move on to the next. And we put the metal pieces in on the back side, which is, again, the part to make sure that they fit. But now we need to attach them to the machine. We also put the little peg on the back so when the machine is tipped back, that it holds it, and then as well as the knee lifter peg that goes inside the oil tray that helps the knee lifter push the foot up and down. So here we are inserting the machine head into the table, and it fits. Everything looks good, and the machine tips back like it's supposed to. As you can see, now we have to hook up the belt because the belt does not hook up. Like, it doesn't come that way. You actually have to hook it up. So we watching the video, making sure we're doing it right. Everything's good. You got to check like 500 times to see how this works. We're definitely checking out and looking to make sure that knee lift thing is the way it's supposed to be. Here we are getting ready to hook the bobbin winder up. Now that one was a hassle. You have to, so you could pre-drill the holes or you could just try to drill the screws in. Well, guess what? That doesn't work that way. You literally have to pre-drill the holes, and we pre-drilled the holes and it didn't sit right. So we actually had to go back and drill it again. So we brought in a vacuum so that we can clean up any wood mess because, again, here, I have brand new carpet and I don't want any of this stuff on my carpet. So we use the vacuum to clean up our mess. But yeah, Scott's drilling the holes and we're going to make it work because it has to sit a certain way. So make sure that your bobbin winder, that the metal circle on it actually sits right next to the belt, because when engaged, it touches the belt so that the belt can spin the bobbin winder. So we actually had to take out the screws that we drilled and readjust it and re-drill new holes and have to put it back in. So that took us a little bit of extra time because it didn't sit in the proper position after holding it. It shifted, and so we had to do it all over again. So I actually have 4 holes underneath instead of just the 2 to hold it down. I actually have 4 holes holding it in place because, yeah, that bobbin winder took a second. So here we are seeing if it works properly, and guess what? It didn't. It wasn't in the right position, so we have to go ahead and do that second part that I just told you. Unscrew it and re-drill the holes and put it back in. So it's going to take a second for us to do this. Yep, so we're still hooking it up, screwing it in, and now we're making sure that the bobbin winder metal circle part on it actually hits the belt when engaged. So, yay, that worked. Now back to watching this video because it really didn't, it just said put it close. But now we're going to put on the cover to the belt. I've heard some other people don't even bother with this part. They just leave the belt uncovered. I covered it all just because I think it'll just help keep it clean and stuff. So we actually put the belt cover on and got all that lined up like it's supposed to be. And that has to be screwed into place as well. So it screws to the machine. And then after we put that on, we have to put the back side of the belt cover on as well. That one gets drilled into place. Again, you have to drill because the tabletop itself is very slick. So you actually have to drill a hole to put the darn thing on. Notice I keep saying darn thing, although this machine is actually amazing because I've played with it quite a few times now since it's been set up just to make sure everything is working properly. But yeah, it's a lot of work to get this put together, and it took both of us to do this. So you need to make sure that you have a strong husband, son, grandson, or somebody to help you put this together if you do get one of these, because it definitely takes more than one person to figure it all out and get it right, especially since it weighs so much. That's the main thing, is because it weighs so much. So here we are. It's got screwing that part in, so it's the back side of the belt cover, and yeah, it works great. Now to put the wheel on. This is where the problem happened. That hand wheel, the hole, was too small to go around the part of the machine that the hole is supposed to go over. Yep, that is right. It was literally a 32nd of an inch off, so it did not fit. And yeah, Demi Me tried to hammer it in place, but I said, no, that's not going to work. So then we thought we would take it down to a machine shop and try to get it drilled, but that wasn't going to work either. So the suggestion was to sand it. It took 3 people told me and Scott and said, no, that's not going to work. You can't sand that completely. You know, it's going to take you a long time if you do. So yeah, eventually I get to that part. But right now we're connecting the knee lift, which took a minute because the thing was in the wrong position. It comes sideways and it's actually supposed to face up and down. So we had to turn it. And you have to unscrew it. And then you have to actually sit in front of the desk to make sure that it's in the position that you want it in before you screw the screws down tight, because it wasn't in the right position for me for my height in the chair that I use. And let's just say also, this knee lift is quite hard to use as a new machine. It takes a lot of strength. And right now with my bum hip, it makes it a little bit more difficult to use. But as soon as my hip is fixed, obviously this will go easy for me. So for now, I sit in the chair and I turn my body so that my knee turns into the knee lift to lift it up, which is fine. It works for now. But yeah, just make sure that you are sitting in a chair and you know where your knee is going to sit to set that one up. So now I'm just hammering in the little top part, which is a thread guide. It also came with a light, which didn't say that in the ad for the machine. It didn't say that it comes with a light, so I was kind of happy that it came with a light because industrial machines don't have lights on them, so it's nice to have a light, although this is set up right next to a light in my room. Yeah, so now I'm just pulling things out and making sure we have all the parts and pieces. We're cleaning it up a little bit so that I can get on to that next step of sanding the hole in the hand wheel. Yep, I said that out loud. So we're moving everything out of the room, all the boxes and stuff, and I have went ahead and spent an hour and 20 minutes with some really fine grit sandpaper, and I used between my first finger and second finger on my right hand, and I sanded that hole and sanded it and sanded it and sanded it and sanded it to the point where my finger, this is so funny, my finger, the fingerprints on my 2 fingers do not even work to open my phone with the fingerprint sensor. Yeah, that's right. So I sanded it all the way down and I made it work in an hour and 20 minutes. All right, so now that all that fiasco is over and it fit properly and it's working like it's supposed to, you can see, yes, I moved the machine. It's sliding on the carpet really nicely. It is heavy, but it's sliding. But as you can see here, I did lay down some vinyl. So this machine has a bed of oil, and we just got brand new carpet. So we do not want any oil splashing or getting on our brand new carpet. So for now, this machine will be set up on this big chunk of vinyl that I had. And yeah, that way I don't get any oil anywhere on our brand new carpet. Here you can see we poured some oil until the thing was full. Then I used oil to fill the oiler because this is a walking foot machine, so it has little oil port areas that you put a little drop of oil on when you're sewing using it. Here I am plugging it in, turning it on. I set the speed a little bit down because, again, I'm not used to an industrial machine yet, but actually I got it like right off the bat and sew pretty good with it. I don't have the correct thread for this. I did have a spool of leather thread. Obviously, this is a machine for leather, vinyl, canvas, you name it, those thick materials. That's what this walking foot machine is for. But I didn't have, this one was a really thick thread, so I wasn't sure it was going to fit in the needle and everything, but it's all I have to test it. So I took it and a piece of vinyl after threading the machine, and I made it work, and it actually stitches beautifully. I adjusted the tension correctly and all of that. I did have to figure out how to roll a bobbin, so I looked up a video to do that, and soon you'll see me doing that. But right here you can see me running the machine, and I had, making sure it works properly. Now here I am rolling the bobbin because I needed to roll a bobbin. It goes up and over the thing, spin it around, and then you hold the little tail, and then you push in the bobbin winder and press go on your foot. And then it winds a bobbin. Make sure that you're either sewing or the top thread is good, or you lift your presser foot, because or else it's going to take all and tangle up the thread that's threaded through the machine itself. It is a very tight bobbin holder winder, by the way, as well. All right, so that's wound. I put it in where it's supposed to go, and I re-threaded the machine. Although it says you can use the bobbin winder at the same time, but that didn't seem to be working. So this is the way I threaded it, just like you're supposed to. I didn't even need to look that up because I knew how to thread the machine. And here I go. Super duper. It works great. I was adjusting the tension when I needed to adjust it, and it worked just fine. It looks amazing, the stitches on the back and the front. And I got the tension correct just for this thread, because this, again, is the only thread I have. But I ordered some, so it should be here soon. But, yep, it's working great. Look at that. It's sewing like it's supposed to. I oiled the ports it says to oil online. And, yeah, it's working great. Just got to remember to use the knee lift every single time, because this does not, you can't lift it and do that. All right, so here it is, me cleaning up my mess. Perfect. It works great. I love it.
I want to thank you for watching today's video unboxing this machine that has now got a cover on it to prevent the dust from getting all over it, because this just so happens to be the dustiest room in the house. Why? Because all my machines are in here. And you're actually looking at the room from a different angle because we did have to rearrange to get this in here. So actually my what's the word for it? Embroidery machine is actually now in the fabric room. So the fabric room isn't just a fabric room, because now it's fabric and embroidery. Go figure. But we had to move things around because, but this thing sat in the garage for over a month. So we didn't get to it right away. Things happened in life. And so I hope you enjoyed watching us put it together today, because let's just say it was a hassle. But we got it together, we made it work, and it works, as you just saw. So anyways, I just want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.